My boundary-ignoring Mill moved in temporarily, but stayed 3 years, rearranging my furniture and criticizing my parenting daily. When she finally moved out, then called about moving back. I told her we sold the house and were traveling indefinitely. It all started when my husband's mom needed a place to stay just for a few weeks, after her landlord sold her apartment building. Being the dutiful son and daughter-in-law that we thought we should be, we agreed without hesitation. Big mistake. Those few weeks turned into 3 freaking years of pure psychological torture. The first month wasn't terrible. She kept to herself in our guest room, helped with dishes occasionally, and only made passive-aggressive comments about my cooking every other day. I thought, hey, this is manageable. Then month 2 hit, and suddenly our house wasn't her son's house anymore. It was her new kingdom. I'd come home from work to find my living room completely rearranged. The feng shui was all wrong, she'd explain without looking up from her reality TV shows. My carefully curated bookshelf, reorganized by color instead of author because it looked prettier that way. My kitchen cabinets, completely transformed so I couldn't find anything. When I'd ask where something was, she'd sigh dramatically, like I was the most incompetent human on earth. Then we had our first kid, and holy moly, the criticism reached nuclear levels. According to her, I was doing everything wrong. In my day, we didn't use all these fancy gadgets, she'd say, eyeing the bottle warmer like it was alien technology. Babies don't need to be picked up every time they cry. You're making him weak. This, while literally reaching for my crying son. The audacity. My husband tried to intervene at first. Mom, we appreciate your advice, but we want to do things our way, he'd say gently. Her response? Tears. So many tears. I'm just trying to help. I raised you just fine, didn't I? And then my husband would cave faster than a sandcastle at high tide. By year 2, I was losing my mind. She'd rearranged our bedroom 3 times while we were at work, found my personal journal, and had suggestions about my private thoughts. Started accidentally throwing away mail addressed to me. Told our neighbors I was struggling with motherhood when I was actually crushing it despite her sabotage. The worst part? She'd established herself as a permanent fixture in our community. Our neighbors loved her. She joined the HOA board. Kill me. She volunteered at my kids' daycare so she could monitor my parenting from afar. She even started dating our 68-year-old widowed neighbor 2 doors down. Edit. Some people ask why we didn't kick her out sooner. My husband is an only child and has serious guilt issues. His dad passed away when he was young, and his mom weaponized that grief whenever we brought up her moving out. Plus, she claimed to be saving for her own place the entire time. So there was always this dangling carrot of just one more month. The breaking point came when I found she'd been going through our financial documents and had opinions about our spending habits. She cornered me in the kitchen one night and suggested we couldn't afford another baby because we waste money on frivolous things like date nights and retirement savings. I didn't even know we were trying for another kid at that point, but apparently my Mill and husband had been discussing our reproductive plans without me. I finally snapped and gave my husband an ultimatum. Either she goes or I go. To his credit, he finally stepped up. He found her an affordable senior apartment, helped her move, and even paid her first month's rent. The look of shock on her face when he handed her the keys to her new place was priceless. She really thought we were going to house her until she died. For 6 blissful months, we reclaimed our lives. I rearranged everything back to the way I wanted. We started having actual conversations at dinner instead of nodding along to Mill's neighborhood gossip. Our marriage improved dramatically. Our toddler stopped asking if grandma was mad at mommy every day. Life was good. Then the call happened. My husband's phone rang during Sunday breakfast. His face fell as he listened. Mom, what happened? Slow down. He put it on speaker so I could hear her wailing about how her apartment had flooding issues and needed major repairs. It would take weeks, maybe months. She needed to move back in with us, just temporarily. I locked eyes with my husband. His expression said it all. He couldn't say no to her again, but I sure as heck could. I grabbed the phone and took a deep breath. I'm so sorry to hear about the flooding, but unfortunately we sold the house last month. We're actually leaving next week for a year-long trip around the world. We're homeschooling Junior while exploring different cultures. Such a shame about the timing. The silence on the other end was deafening. You sold the house without telling me, she finally sputtered. Oh, we sent an email to everyone. Must have gone to your spam folder. Anyway, gotta run. Realtor's coming for final paperwork. Have you tried asking your boyfriend? His house is much bigger than ours was. Did we really sell our house? Nope. Are we traveling the world? I wish. But the next day, my MIL miraculously found accommodation with her sister, who lives 2 states away, and somehow her apartment repairs were completed in record time. Just 2 weeks.